we go to Fish Talk, video, talk fishing, info, so much more. Get weather.
Hello, and welcome to another version of Fish Talk TV. I'm Charlie.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Joe.
We're here every week to bring some fishing fun information to you. And this is fishing for the rest of us. I mean, the inshore guys or the guys who do it on a one-time basis, get out there whenever we can. Unlike the guys who run offshore, who are real serious guys that spend a fortune, we don't have the fortune to spend.
Well, so we're serious and we spend a fortune. but the other part of that is don't go.
Okay. Hey guys, first I want to say hello to a viewer, Kenny C. Kenny, thanks for the wonderful email and nice kind words. We appreciate it. We're going to get right away into our fishing report because there's a lot to talk about. So let's talk about, Mark, 2 weeks ago, you did some real fine flounder.
Yeah, I actually got a nice flounder, first keeper of the year, 23 inch. And
4.5 pounds?
Yeah, 4.5 or 4.1 pounds.
Oh, okay.
And it was nice fish. Nice fish.
So you caught more keepers out there, too, didn't you?
Yeah, Joe got two
219s.
219s, I think that
What was the total catch?
I don't know, 35 or 40 fish.
So you got about 10% keepers?
Yeah. And actually, just like the week that we'll talk about last week, that week, it was pretty much in a couple drifts, which is kind of funny, you know.
All the keepers were in a couple
drifts? On a couple drifts, you know, on the same drift or possibly consecutive drifts, rather than picking one up here or there and, sort of, you know, picking through the problem.
Well, that was the week prior to that was the same situation.
Yeah.
You know, we had just left that spot, and then the fellow had caught that monster
27 inch.
That doormat.
And he caught 3 of those fish on literally just same way.
And then it quit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. I wonder what made that happen.
I don't know. There must be some kind of red light that goes on. Actually. Well, Mark, again, this last week, this last Saturday, did it again.
Yeah, I got 2 21 inchers, and Joe got an 18. And it was all within one single drift.
Where were you drifting?
We were drifting in the Absecon Channel, and we were going between Little Panama and up to the Green Buoy.
And what were you using?
I was using minis. Mark was using 4-inch gold.
The white shrimp.
White shrimp. Yeah. And he did great. And again, soon as, literally, he said, I'm going to change over from the minis, because we were getting hits, but they were, you know, most of them little tiny things. In fact, you know, you take a look at some of the photos.
Look at those tiny things. You got to see, go to the home page. In fact, you're at the home page now, perhaps. Look down here at the picture of the week. You'll see Joe and his monster fish.
Well, it's something, you know, when you're using bait, you get kind of everything.
We weren't sure whether the fish caught the bait or the bait caught the fish. We're not sure.
He wasn't off. He was just stuck. The mummy chug was stuck in his mouth and he couldn't get it out. And I just popped it off. It's amazing he got it in his mouth.
Very funny.
Very so funny. Anyhow, after we were fishing, and we were doing the North Bank, and on one drift, again, as I said, literally, as soon as Mark switched over from minis to gold, it didn't hit. Boom! And he had a fish.
Yeah.
2 seconds later, he brought it up, dropped it back down, boom, had another fish. 2 seconds later, I'm down drifting, I switched over to gold, boom, I got one.
Really?
Yeah.
And then nothing.
Then nothing.
Then just quit the rest of the day.
Yep.
So, again, about 30 fish that day, or?
What did we get?
I think it was less than that. It was like 20, maybe 25.
All right, so, but still, the percentage of keepers is still, from a percentage point of view, very small.
Very small.
Yeah.
Now, these are big fish. You know, these are 3 and 4 pound fish. So, you know, you don't need very many to make a meal. So, in a way, it's a trade-off between keeping 5 14-inchers that would give you the same amount of fillets that one of these bigger fish will get. So it's a give and take if you're looking for a meal.
That's true.
And I don't know if you guys saw the fillets that I provided.
Oh, yeah.
They were huge. He had one that was probably a full 18 inches long.
Wow.
About 4 inches wide and about 1 inch thick. I mean, it was a huge fillet.
Yeah, in fact, we've got some pictures. Why don't we go take a look at them now?
All right, let's take a look.
Yeah, up there.
Well, I love her, but I love to fish. I spend all day out on this lake.
And welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that. You know, guys, we went out last Wednesday, and we ran into some absolutely dense fog.
It was funny. How about it? As we pulled over, we came down to your boat in Cape May, and as we came down through Seaview, through Ocean View, and to Seaview and Seaville, and moving on down, you could see out over the ocean, a little cloudy.
Yes.
And as we came up and over that last bridge and were making the turn towards your dock, it started to really look cloudy. Remember, now Todd was sitting in the dock, his back looking toward us, toward the west,
yes,
on the phone. And he never saw that fog came in. Yeah, it was literally almost over top of us.
We fish, I keep a boat down the Breezy Lee down in Cape May, and we decided to go down. I guess we got down there around 5:30, and as we turned around and started getting away from the dock, things started to disappear. It got to a point where we went out in the canal, and we decided to stop there rather than run out. We couldn't see either side of the canal. So we turned around and came back in, and while we sat underneath the Wildwood Cape May Bridge, and while we're sitting there, the bridge disappeared.
It literally, we pulled really right up to one of the stanchions, and then we're drifting with a slight west wind and a slight incoming current away. And I don't think we got 50 to 100 feet away before it started to fog.
Yes.
And over 100 feet, other than possibly the difference between a dark shadow and a light shadow, it was gone.
It was gone. It was gone. Now, to say how bad it was, the headboats out of Wildwood and Cape May, the one came up to the bridge and had to wait because he couldn't see the bridge to go through it.
He actually backed up.
Twice.
I mean, I've never seen a boat that was 70 feet long that was able to back up.
The thing there was that they finally pulled through the bridge. Then they wound up sitting in the canal. I don't know how long. We finally said, heck with it. I think we got a total, Joe, I think you were high hooked with a shark and a skate.
The shark and a skate, that's right. and a international cable.
Oh, this is true.
The communication cable.
I told you, had you been able to bring it in, you could have kept it.
Oh, well, let me tell you, there's probably enough copper in there. I'd be sitting right now with bling on.
So we finally called it a day and came to the dock, and it certainly was a thrilling evening fishing. The funny part was you could look straight up, and it was fine. Well, you couldn't look any particular direction, and that made it pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, when we were cruising back in, we saw the headboats just sitting in the back bay, waiting for them to go out, because they couldn't see either.
Now, Charlie, as you were saying that there were certain protocols that larger boats, we all should do it, but the larger boats do this day in and day out when they run into these situations. What were they doing? That was standard protocol for them to be able to let people know that they were there.
The captain knows that a fog that bad, traveling forward is extreme hazard.
So why he was backing up?
Yeah. He was doing that so he wouldn't hit the bridge. And even from his height, where he was piloting, finally when he pulls through, what they do, they will pull off as far off as a known channel as they can to point of safety. And they'll sit there with their engines running, and they'll have someone on the bow looking and making sure that things are at least safe. The other thing they'll do is every 3 minutes they'll give a long blast of their horn.
How long is a long blast?
4 seconds. And this way at least you know there's someone there.
Well, they don't anchor then, they stay...
Well, in this particular case, no. You can anchor, however, these particular boats don't. They'll sit and just keep their thrusters, will keep them in position. Remember, they've got very high-tech GPS, and some of the boats actually have the GPS tied in to their steering systems, so they can literally stay focused. Especially they use that when they're out in the wrecks and what have you, especially in bad seas. That's how they stay with the wrecks a lot of times. So, but it was nasty and bad. The other part about bad weather has been this last week with the 100-degree extreme heat. You know,
I was finally getting warm enough that it felt good out there.
Now, Joe is cold-blooded, although his tongue is not necessarily split. He is cold-blooded. The one thing, though, that is important to say is that it's important for all fishermen to realize just how hot it is. Even though you're on the water, you're getting the temperature of the water around you because you're so close to it. However, you're getting burnt. And Mark can attest to that from the very beginning of the season. He was looking like a lobster at one point.
Well, we were out last Sunday and wound up being Atlantic City at the all-time record high of 105.
105 degrees.
And we were out there fishing.
105, and the water temperature was?
59.
59 degrees.
59?
Yes.
That's why the fish probably weren't biting too well.
Oh.
Charlie, when I tell you that when you're drifting, you could feel like you're going inside of a refrigerator with the door open, and then next to the furnace blowing on you. It was literally that way. It felt like you were going by an open door with air conditioning, and then when you were getting the wind blowing off of Atlantic City, it felt like a blowtorch.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
It was so hot. I mean, it gives you the feeling of what the Sahara or the Death Valley would feel like on a warm breeze coming down the hill.
Now when we got back to behind Brigantine in Oaks Thoroughfare, temperature was 81.
Sure.
But in the Absecon Channel, it dropped to 59 degrees.
And never really came up. We got to almost 60, 59.9.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
But it never got any higher than that.
Well, you know, when you guys fish, I know that we always look for new things to present to our viewers. And Mark, you came up with a couple of good ones.
Yeah, in fact, Donna at our marina had showed me... North Point Marina.
Hey, Donna.
She showed me some new items that were listed in the sportfishingmagazine.com, and one of them was called a fish stretcher. And it was for those anglers that have just
done up for hurt fish to bring them into the ambulance.
No.
This is a rack for the fish.
This is to get your fish that's just undersized, a little bit just oversized.
Oh, I don't know.
And I told Don, I said, I can't believe this is real.
It's going to be called the Cardinal.
This can't be legal. Well, it's made by a doctor. In fact,
he probably also makes thumbnails.
A fish biologist, Dr. Ray Waldner. And basically, you strap the head in, you strap the tail in, and you crank down. And I said to Joe, I said, this sounds like the Spanish Inquisition.
So I said, it should be called the Cardinal.
Bring me the rack. And I said, man, if you're that desperate for a fish, just put them in your bucket.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get caught anyhow.
Exactly. Don't harm the fish for your half-inch stretch.
What's fishing game going to think about when they find you with this thing on boat? I'm making things longer.
Oh, you should try Viagra. Well, what else you got, Mark?
Well, another thing come out on this nice website or nice magazine. Gulp. Berkeley Gulp has come out with edible gulp.
Oh, now I'm hungry.
Now,
edible gulp.
Comes in 5 different flavors: spiced chai, pecan, cinnamon bun, New York cheesecake, and a cappuccino.
You'd think there'd be grape, cherry, lime.
No, cappuccino. I know how many fishermen out there say, "Where's my cappuccino?" Well,
who wouldn't want to munch on a nice shrimp-looking thing that tastes like cappuccino?
And they're expensive. An 18-ounce bucket is $35.
It's the same price as salt.
It's about a nice meal in any restaurant.
It's probably what it is really gulp. That rather than putting it into the flavored material, they put it into a flavor.
Well, they say that it actually works in the fish, too, because the fish like it.
Well, of course they do. With that, folks, it's time to go. Okay, we'll see you again next week when I'll be here. I'm Charlie.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Joe.
Hey, guys, keep your rods in the water. See you then.
Let's go!